What's up, baby dolls? Let's go through something crazy that's happened today. We have breaking news, right? The US Senate considers voting to ban Congress from trading stocks before the November election. So I know it's just a consideration. And if you've been following me, the context of this is very important. Here it is right now. It's that these exotic top signals from your friend Sommi, looking for some sort of market-wide type of indication that we're hitting like silly levels. You know, there are the stock standard stuff like the TikTok 15-second attention span, people coming out, making crypto videos about how to do leverage, those things, people flexing watches because they're a bunch of losers, and a lot of other things start to appear. Like you have friends and family who, you know, thought crypto was going to zero. Now they want to participate again. Those things come out. But I'm looking for the next level ones, friends, and I made a whole video on this. It's very, very important. It's close to my heart, right? But the ones that have pinged already, Bitcoin ETF, Ethereum ETF, and Andrew Tate launches a coin. Now, a lot of people always ask me, hey, man, top signals are hit. Does that mean we get out? Does that mean we get out? Please tell me. I mean, it could. It could. Right? It could be over, friends. I'm just being honest with you. It's always a possibility it can be over. I just have these lists, that's all. And out of 9 things, okay, 3 have hit. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 things left. So you might think of it like that. What's 3 on 9, friends? It's about, 33%. What is it? 3 on 9? 33%. Yeah, that's another way to look at it. It doesn't mean it's a 33% chance that it's all over. Could be. It could be one way to think about these things. What about the next top signals though, right? You've got Ty Lopez, Jim Cramer, Coinbase #1 App Store ranking. We haven't hit them. A meme coin hitting 100 billion market cap. A project raising 1 billion. That's an important sign, right? Let's play some pump music for that because that'll be a sign that there's lots of green and stuff coming out, right? Remember in the top of 2021, you had Paradigm, more like Parrot Poop. They raised $2.5 billion for a fund. Oh, of course, it was right at the top. And of course, everybody lost all their money, as you do in crypto. And you also had the PulseChain and PulseX sacrifices. That was the kicker. PulseChain, I think, raised 600 million. That was in July 2021. But the top came 6 months later, right? That was PulseX. It raised 1.1 billion with a B. There you go. Bang, the $1 billion mark comes in. Doesn't mean just get out everything immediately if we see it. Because what if this cycle, man, what if we blow $1 billion? What if something hits $1 billion and then it's a fake out and then 2 months later, the real move happens and now it's $5 billion? So you don't know, but it's just something just to be thinking about. Now, the US Congress banning, self-banning from stocks, very important, friends. I've gone through this before, but just quickly, just to remind everyone again, if you go and look at the stock market index, we know there are insiders at the Fed. You know, friends, I mean, Fed is literally bug eater squared, right? The central bank, yeah. And if you change this to like a weekly chart, I mean, surprise, surprise, the US Fed were allowed to own stocks for 4,700 days in a row. And then they have this planted story up here where like, oh, golly gee, got to get out. Oh, sorry, do we have to sell? Click sell now. And then you had a giant wipeout down. Heaps of stocks went down. Remember, this is the S&P 500 index. So, friends, a lot of things got crushed. Even though the stock market index, so the S&P 500 dropped 26%. Many stocks dropped 40, 50, 60, even like Peloton and all the other poopies. You know, these other weird vegan chef type of stonks. They dropped like 70, 80, 90%. Wrecked, man. It's destroyed. Oh, man. Vicious scamming. Vicious scamming. Yeah. Money printing. Markets, right? So where do we go from there? Well, remember the US Fed, friends, yes, now we have the Congress, right? But the US Fed, they banned themselves from owning stocks first. So they click sell. But then there's still the Congress people, the government people. But they can't all ban themselves at once. You want to know why? Because when the big crash recession happens, there might be a revolution by the people. If you all see that 1,000 politicians got to dump stocks at the top right before a big economic recession, all right, now you got a problem. So the final wave that we're thinking is going to maybe, friends, be a repeat, similar repeat. There's a possibility where the Federal Reserve, they banned themselves right here. October 2021, and that's it. You had 1, 2, 3 months left of stonks. By the way, crypto was already dead here, by the way. So don't think about this, friends. You can't wait for stonks to drop. This is how much of a stock market correlation scam it is. Look, stocks were only down 9% here, January 2022, but crypto was already down 70%, and you can see it right now. This is the Bitcoin monthly chart. So if you look at January 2022, here you are. So Bitcoin was down 50%. Altcoins were down 65, 70% by the end of January 2022. It was game over already. It was pretty much it's finished, right? So that's one thing we have to keep in mind when we're navigating this. It is just one possible scenario. And it does actually line up, friends, with a potential path of how the cycle plays out. And I have the picture drawn here. This is actually the picture of how all of it will line up, friends. And just like have an appreciation for this. This is, I don't know why, I'm just feeling it. I'm just feeling this. But, you know, man, everyone feels everything. We don't know. This path, friends, is that Bitcoin 100K. All right, let's go through it. It's Bitcoin 100K. Bust above it to trap everybody. Crash back down. Get everybody to sell. Then rocket up by the end of next year. All right. And by the way, it doesn't have to, when we finish, it does not have to drop down. All right. It is possible Bitcoin does like this nice fake out for 5-6 months. Then finally it comes back down. That's also possible. Okay. Let's go through this because that actually incorporates this. So if they actually do this banning of Congress from stonks, you know that part, that fractal I just showed you, which is this. All right, which is just path. Let's actually look at it more in detail. It incorporates a few things, all right? So I'll go through it. Now we have the inverted yield curve. Remember, and this is like very important to know, after the first rate cut, so when they cut rates for the first time, from the stats past 100 years, the stock market drops on average minus 27%. Now, you might obviously think that you're a genius and go, oh, I'm just going to click sell and sell. No, not that easy. You don't know how long it's going to take for that. You don't know. And you don't know when the crashing is going to start. It's just that from an average, the first cut, there's a minus 27% drop, but it can drag you out for quite a while. All right. So like what if stocks do crash, but for example, they're cutting in September? Okay. What if they cut, but crypto goes up and then has the big old season wave and then it crashes back to where they cut in the first place? That's actually what I drew in this scenario here. So this is it, friends. Like here we have September. This is September right here. What if they cut and then we actually have this little old season, stock market rolls over and we come back to that point? You might say, okay, can I get back in? Yeah, but you've missed out this whole period. Up here, you've missed out a big alt season wave. That's 100 days of altcoins going parabolic. That's not so easy. It's just something to consider, okay? And obviously, it's if the stock market does drop, it doesn't have to be 27% down, but near 27% down. It's quite a big move on the chart, and I'll show you what it actually looks like if you look at these stonks chart. So that average 27%. Let's say that's how we've topped out already. 27% is a big drop, friends. This is the average drop, bang. And this is within the realm of expectations because it can go down here and then finally find its way to come back up, then another sideways move. And this is pretty much what the stock market does, friends. This will be a long sideways. You see that? 7 years of sideways. And check this out. When did the US Fed ban themselves from owning stocks? You think that's a coincidence? Hey friends, you honestly think that's going to be a coincidence if this happens? Look at that. You're going nowhere for 7 to 8 years. Just a coincidence, right? That the US Fed let themselves own stocks for 14 years in a row, one of the biggest bull markets, and then they knew the party's over. They decided to be the first ones to exit. So the government can exit here. Imagine the US Fed exits here. The government exits here, right? This will be December, right? So the government's allowed to exit here. Actually, December. US Fed's out here. And then we have this recession stuff. Comes back up, comes back down. How dodgy would that look? By the way, this has happened in history many times, friends. So this is obviously sideways of stocks. This is after the tech boom. But you also look at the 70s and the 80s as well. Look at that. Isn't that exactly the pattern I just drew? Look at this. It goes up, down, come back, snap, come up, snap. How about that? Let's check these drops, by the way. This is a 35% drop. This is a 50% drop. Now, this is the high inflation stuff. So 27% is pretty light. That's why it's the average. So I just drew it for you, right? Like this could happen, man. That could be the future. You just don't know how crypto fits into that. Hopefully, more price pump. Now, you know that chart pattern I drew for you as well. That's why this thing is actually magic. Going to around this 110K, remember from my information I've shown you, crypto moves 4 times faster than stonks and TradFi. So whatever happens in 4 years in TradFi, it's 1 year in crypto. So when we pass, one day, it's like 4 days. When they're down 1%, we're down 4% from stock market. That's actually the real ratio, 4 to 1. All right. Now, after the gold ETF got released, Bitcoin pumped 130%. Sorry, gold pumped 130%. And that's what I actually have incorporated in this chart. I've done a mimicking of that. So gold pumped 130% in 4 years. So what I decided to do was like, wait a minute, maybe Bitcoin does that 130% move, but it does it. See right here, friends, that'll be right here. Maybe it does it in 1 year, around 1 year. Remember the Bitcoin ETF came January-ish this year, February. So it's around 1 year. It's wild, right? It would put that Bitcoin price, that 100K rough number, be a nice target. And look, I don't know. I could just see it now. Bitcoin's not stopping at 100. It's going to convince everyone it is. I'm just like, man, it's too obvious, man. There's just too many retailers who are going to dump right under that point. They're going to front run it. Then they're going to get squeezed to buy back in. It's like, I'll just see it happening, friends. The noobs sell at 90K. Later on, it hits 110. They buy back in. Then it drops back down to 70 or 80, which is actually this chart pattern. It drops back down to 70 or 80. See, all the people with FOMO up here, now they're definitely getting out. They're definitely getting out here. We like eventually rinse the zone and then we actually pop off for the 4 year cycle. That's such a nice trap for everybody, yeah? This type of move as well, this expectation with like, the US self-banning of stocks as well, it incorporates Donald Trump's presidency. So think about it, if Donald Trump is talking about Bitcoin strategic reserve and there's other pro-crypto policies, you can just see everybody like, yes, I want to feel the risk on. I want the friendship and their kindness. And they might be front-running a bit of the excitement. And that's why if they front-run the excitement, friends, just let's go through the chart here. If they front-run the excitement, this is the Bitcoin chart up here, yes. If Donald Trump's elected, when he starts here, right, he starts here. If it goes down and does this poop, everyone's going to think it's game over. But really, no. We just front run his presidency. It's dark prophecies type of stuff. So basically, all the people who were going to buy up to like April, May of 2025, they brought their money in forward by 6 months. And they started buying early. Why? Because Donald Trump just got elected. And he's just cutting rates today. It's going to be big. It's going to be great. You can already see it, right? You can already see that type of stuff fueling itself. And I've already spoken to you about that 100K round number. Now, I don't know, friends. I've just been in markets for a long time. Just 100K just sounds like just such the biggest round number trap. Just sounds like the biggest round number trap. I could just tell it just gets screwed everywhere, man. Everyone's going to rely on that number. Okay, so we also have that issue of the alt season waves. Now, alt season wave 1 and 2, they appeared in the past 2 cycles. Right? 2 waves, yes. If we line it up, I'm going to draw the chart again. If it lines up, friends, it's expected to peak December. And, if that's why I just showed you with this US self-banning of stocks, the Congress with the self-banning of stocks, they want to like push it up to like, before November. That's like, but we don't know, man. We don't know. Just if they do, it lines it up even further. It really makes it like have pressure now. And then let's slide this in as well because you never really do know the future. Oh yeah, so alt season wave would be December, number 1. And then next year, like, July, August-ish for the second one. There's another Joker card in here that I've got, and that is, if you read it now, the one Joker card is that in the past 3 cycles in a row, the alt season euphoria peak was 12 months after the Bitcoin halving. That's another thing to think about. It would mean like that. So that's not drawn here, but April 2025. So 3 out of 3 times the altcoins peaked 12 months after the Bitcoin halving. Okay, so this chart, it doesn't have that incorporated, but we're covering all angles here. So you're just ready, man. You're just ready for big news stuff. You're ready for December this year. Yes. So Donald Trump wins, comes in, big policy stuff. Okay, if you're ready for that November, December burst. You're also ready for the March, April burst. And you're also ready next year for the July, August burst. You really got to be ready. Remember, friends, because these things go so much, man. That's Doge doing 10x in the month. Now, it's not going to do it again, of course, because of diminishing gains. But just be careful. We want to be thinking about, hey, even if you believe, even if you don't want to get out, because whatever, it only moves 3x for you or whatever, at least you're not in the mindset. I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to make you think about not taking leverage. I'm trying to make you think about, okay, don't put on that mega leverage centralized exchange trade. Don't go in and just go join that latest, hottest stuff with a lot of money because that other thing hasn't moved, okay? Because that's what I'm trying to just get you to plan ahead for. And that yield curve stuff, friends, as well, to throw it in here, I've got here, US economic crisis. Noob's still here because it's below 100K. Bitcoin dropping down 35% would mean altcoins 50 to minus 75% drop. I remember in my previous video when I spoke about this, there were mentions of like, you know, if PulseChain does like a 5 or 6x from here, can retrace back down, has like a wick down. But think about this as well. It doesn't necessarily mean like, it is possible that altcoins don't go down as hard as people think. That is one possibility because you just never know, man, because it's all about the non-believers, right? If you don't have heaps of non-believers in, you don't have to worry. But if you do have a lot of non-believers in, yes, it's critical time, just like with the celebrity meme coins. And I'm just here having some fun, friends, as well. Sometimes you just have to go all in. Generational wealth starts with one risk taker. So it's meant to like inspire you and stuff. But yes, there are no guarantees here, right? Just talking about like there's uncertainties around every corner. You do have to take your bets. That's it. There is no way to build your portfolio to retirement one brick at a time. You don't get that. If you want to do that, you are in traditional stock market S&P 500 world. It's going to take you 20, 30, 40 years to retire. By that point, you're like, oh, wow, game's over anyway. All right. So to just let you know, you need to concentrate on your risk if you want to make it. If you want to concentrate, you have higher odds of retiring, but also high risk of ruin as well. If you're going to diversify, you spread yourself potentially too thin. It's more for keeping your wealth. And maybe you're going to have to allocate a different strategy to yourself after this crypto story is played out. And don't forget, man, the deep state can throw a lot of stuff at us, friends. By the way, there's puppets everywhere. Puppets, deep state puppets on the Democrat Party, pretty much full of them. Republicans, many of them, many. Look at this type of junk. 4 years ago, Kamala Harris had only a 5% popularity voting. All right. Now, there's all these fake polls. Fake, not even quotation marks, 100% fake. They've got her beating Donald Trump. What a joke. Beating Donald Trump. Also, shout out to SB. She raised $80 million on day one. She must be very popular with the deep state. So yes, Alex Soros, all the other deep staters, of course, they are throwing in all this like fake money and saying, wow, there's so many people who just love this person. We'll see. You had 5% popularity rating. Now you're apparently being Donald Trump. Don't believe it, man. The real voting is on the markets. The market's still giving Donald Trump like 64% chance to win. So, you know, man, they're already lying. But they're showing to you that they're going to lie. They're going to twist stuff. There's going to be election rigging. There's going to be all these. It's kind of interesting. I went to Google. I typed in 2020 election rigging. I went and looked at it. The first 2 pages are literally, I'm not going to say their name, one of the big family names who control the world, okay, all their state-sponsored media, because you don't know, right? They own, I don't want to say their names, but they own Reuters. You know that? They own Reuters. They own Bloomberg. You know, they own all the financial news websites too. They actually own them. And all of the pages are these soy boy mid-curve paid journalists from the deep state. All of the articles are from them. They're the only articles you can find about the election rigging. It's interesting, right? You would think from a conspiracy perspective, like they're like, hey, what was the commotion about? Why can't I even read about the other side? You can look it up yourself. It's kind of funny. This is the type of stuff you'll see. This is the type of stuff you see down here. The conversation. How to have the card conversations. Like, dude, you are literally the biggest soy boy virgin cuck I've ever seen. There's literally, this loser made this website about this article, like how to talk to your family members about how Joe Biden was the most popular president on earth and he really won this election. Like, man, I don't even have any skin in the game with 2020. I don't care. It's just, it's so obvious, man. It's like, well, go work, go broke. And you lose your soul in the process too. I found this funny as well, friends. Anthony Pomp. Okay, so Anthony Pomp, him, read this, look what he said. In early 2017, the price of Ether crossed $100. That caught my attention, he said. He sold almost all of his Ether holdings when the price was $150 to $200. Ethereum going up to like $4,000 each. So not the smartest thing in hindsight, Pompliano smiled. So pretty much, he sold his ETH too early. It does another 20x after he sells. He's known as like an Ethereum hater, pro-Bitcoin maxi. But then they bring him onto MSNBC, to CNBC. He's like the first guy they come to ask him to speak about the Ethereum ETF. Found hilarious. Like, you're bringing on a hater, man. Where are the other people out here? Just, see, they make their own little culture ring circuits. Hey, you've got influence. We know what you like. It's predictable. That's what they're here for. And finally, news, friends, we're seeing that Kraken. Let's actually first enjoy this fat Wojak, okay, Blobjack with this lady. Okay, I don't know why. These photos are freaking hilarious. So, Kraken, friends, Kraken Exchange, who we hope actually lists PulseChain, they have now credited some customers with their Mt. Gox Bitcoin. So, they're all receiving it now. And, you know, keep on your toes. Don't rely on any leverage. Look, I don't want the price to go down. But I think for you and me, we need it to go down. We need Bitcoin to dump 10%. You want to know why? Because I need you to really see how dangerous it is to be a pencil neck, virgin, soy boy, mid-curve, piece of trash who doesn't know where his wife's boyfriend has taken her for the night. I need you to understand that. Because all I've heard around everywhere in crypto is, Mt. Gox is cool. Mt. Gox is fine. They're all holders. They're never going to sell. Okay, bro. I hope so. I hope so. When's the last time you were all right? When? I know when, actually. 1 month. February of this year. February of this year, they were all shilling Solana meme coins. And they all went up for another 30 days. Another 30 days and they topped out. So like, you know, another like 4 to 6 weeks. That's the only time. It's very rare when they're in. There's a few times where they basically shill high and it goes higher. Most of the times, you got to be careful though. All right, so what are they all saying now? Don't worry. Mt. Gox is fine. These people are diamond handers. Like I said, I don't want the price to go down. I want everyone to understand, friends. It's dog eat dog here. Okay? Don't believe this junk. Don't believe these people. For 1 second, don't believe them. Okay? Ever. Don't ever believe them. These token unlocks, all these other trash, don't believe them. I'm trying to help you to at least know that feeding off this mainstream media stuff, even if they have good intentions, they're just not working hard enough. They're not here 18 hours a day. They're just like, oh, it's cool. Must be priced in. Oh, look at the shorts and the futures. We'll see, man. We'll see. So, by the way, if you want to know the numbers, if 30,000 BTC sold, you drops about 10% in a day. Hopefully, everyone liquidates slowly enough over time. Hopefully, they also rotate to other altcoin bags. But just be careful, man, friends, because like we're building, we're going to start from this point, build into the risk-on sentiment if the 4-year cycle magic plays out. We build into that risk-on sentiment where, and you can see it in the others BTC ratio, it's where pretty much people start to suspend belief, right? So you pretty much come here where everyone's depressed, then there's hope, then these next 20 days is, wow, crypto's fun and thrilling. Then it's, oh my God, it's a super cycle. Donald Trump is in, we are never going down. That's how it ends, right? From it's all over to we're never going down, and then bang. Okay, so that's that risk part. Bang, 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 bang. You got to understand that we're going along that. That's what's happened. That's obviously 2016 and 2020. Happened both times. I'm just trying to protect you, that's all. Make sure you like, subscribe, belly button, or catch you in the next one.